Bow, 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 bow. I'm here. Hello. Oh my gosh, it's Mal Mal. Hello, how you doing, Mal Mal? Yeah. Oh gosh, I apologize if I'm a bit low energy today. And it's Anthony. Hello, Anthony.
We could always paint faster. Bathe the models in the paints. Wait, Capcom is a devotee of Nurgle. Bathing is like your daily slurry shower.
No, I'm not a devotee of Nurgle. I'm a clean cupcake. Oh gosh, you can hear noises. Oh my gosh, I can't open my glove drawer. Glove drawer. Why are you not opening? Oh, did you? Oh my gosh, there we go. One of the things in the drawer had fallen, the wrong way, and now it was getting caught by the drawer above it. Oh no, things are falling over. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired. I hope you're doing fine. Now, I'm still ill. Unfortunately, my mother decided to change my pillows. She was like, I'm changing your blooming pillows. They're too old. They're decades old. They're terrible. And I'm like, I like my pillow. Like, I don't like having, big fluffy pillows. I like having thin, tough pillows that don't raise your head too much. And they're nice and resistant. Oh my gosh, a gifted member. Thank you so much. She wishes it was 5 million subs. I wish. 5 million. Yes. Well, what's happening over here? So I've just got these red notification marks. I hope nothing's broken. There we go. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Mal. Well, yeah, I'm the kind of person, I don't really like big fluffy pillows. I'm then just like, look, they're super nice, they're big, they're fluffy. I'm like, no. My last ones, they were decades old, they were tough, they were thin. And now I was getting itchy because my head was getting too warm under pillows and it was being raised too much, and but it's trying to suffocate you because it's fluffy, and it was not fun. I did not sleep at all. Well, I did sleep a little, just not very well. And then I kept waking up. And then I dreamt of, Space Marine 2. Ended up having like an upgrade system where you could upgrade from being a Space Marine to like being a super elite Space Marine to being a Dreadnought to being a Knight to being a to being an Armiger, to being a Knight, to being a Warhound Titan, to a Warlord, to some crazy Titan that was like a War Master Titan. Just, do you know that Knight Parapion, or whatever it's called, with the other 2 giant guns on each arm? Imagine that, but times by 6 on each arm, and then attach it to a War Master. Yeah, and then like they're all for turbo laser destroyer style guns. And then what they then do is still for Reaver Titan Gatling gun. Yeah, basically like 6 of them as well in the hull and on the shoulders of a Titan. And then like a bunch of other weird stuff. And then for like some weird Tyranid Titans, like, the Hierophant Titan, except instead it's got like the back legs of a lictor of a von Ryan Leaper rather, and it's then got like the scything talons of a, what's it called, Screamer Killer Carnifex. And it runs along on all 6 limbs, and then as it's approaching you, it goes onto its back limbs and leaps at you. But it's a Titan. And there's loads of them going all over the place. If any had even bigger Titan, it was scary. Yeah, that was my dream. Oh no. But hand cams. I got 2 new paints. I got contrast Iron George yellow and iodine yellow because I got a what's it called? Bipedal Tyranid Titan. Sounds truly terrifying. It was. There's a lot of geese outside. There's a lot of geese. Bipedal Tyranid Titan, but it's from Attack on Titan. Oh, heresy is going on in her dreams, maybe. What if the Emperor's name is going on with your dreams? You know, just cool stuff. But yeah, so for those who don't know, before I was using this Nastrag yellow and this Bad Moon yellow, and we're trying to get a yellow that looks like this using contrasts. But I just got this iodine yellow and fish yellow because my father got do you know where after a year, if you buy from the Games Workshop website, the Warhammer website, they'll send you a gift voucher for 10 quid, but it only lasts until like for a month. And he had that, so he sent it to me. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy 2 paints of it, yay. So I did test about a little bit. Where are they? It was one of these. Oh, it's this. So this arm is... If I turn this light on. It's using this colour. No. It was using this colour of this arm and then going over with this colour. And it looks pretty nice, actually. I'm thinking some Agrex Earthshade. And then just highlighting it with some of the Uriel yellow will help it look like this. Like, it's not too far off. The other arm is this one. Is using this colour. And then going over with this colour. And they both end up with a very similar effect. So I think what I'm going to do is... Actually, I don't know. I was thinking about going over with this colour first. And then going over with this colour. But let's actually check. If I go over this again with this colour. It's a contrast paint. You don't have to worry so much about layers. See how that looks. I have gotten a couple of these guys done with just Nastrag yellow at the moment. And this is the guy that we were testing out different colours on last time. Like using the Bad Moon yellow. But as you can see, it's just way too bright. And it's very difficult to work with. Also, a bunch of models arrived. Do you know ages ago they did made to order warlocks? Here they are. 4 season warlocks. There's 6 of them. I think it was like, what was it? 30-40 quid for 6 warlocks, which is actually a pretty good price since the other I sell them for 2 for like 20 something quid or like 30 quid. But yeah, but for metal models, actually some of them are technically Farseers. I don't actually have my Eldar down at the moment to compare them to. I mean, for the most part, these models are actually a similar size. They're slightly shorter. Their heads are bigger in comparison to the bodies for normal Eldar. And some of the hands and feet are also a bit bigger, like fatter than normal. Especially like the hands here, where it just goes... like the knuckle starts back here and it goes round and round and round and round and round to that. It's like they just got super long fingers from for holding these staffs because the staff poles are so thick. Especially if this guy's hand, his knuckles start back there and it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going until it's like this. And then you compare it to that hand there and it's like, has super long fingers there. Damn elves, Tyranids, finish your job and eat them. No! No! But yeah, if you're wondering why they're on like this double stacked base, It's because Warlocks are meant to be on 32mm basis, but they instead came with, I think it's 28.5mm, so it might have been 25mm. Actually, it's probably 25mm. But they're slot basis, so where are they? It's the one where you can see, yeah, him. If you look at the bottom of his base, you can see where there's like a metal line. And that's because it slots into the base. And it's best to use them for metal models because the connection between the feet and the base is really bad, so they'll always break off the base if you don't use a slot. I say always, but they're likely, especially if you drop them. But if they're inside, well, that's partly because super glue is, like, if you ever think to yourself that a super glued model is really well stuck together, you can pull on it and twist it and it's not going to break apart. One of the thing that super glue is weakest to is shock damage. So if you knock it into something else, and it's best not testing if a bond's strong enough, because each time you knock it, the bond's going to weaken. So if you put it down on the ground too hard, or you knock it into something else, it's going to break off. And for feet, with the feet being connected to the base, there's a very large chance it's going to receive a shock that's going to one day break it off its base. So always use the slots, and then you can just glue the base to a bigger base. Yeah. And if a little metal bit is too thin for the base, then just get some green stuff or some putty or something just to fill in the gap. Oh. But yeah, I don't mind these models. They had these metal models around for ages and ages and ages until they finally replaced them with the plastic models. Like, it's a bit like how the shining talons of a warp scorpion, not swooping hawks, and the warp spiders and swooping hawks were metal models until recently. It's like, yeah, but they just kept them around for ages. They're pretty nice, but I like them. If we compare them to our Tyranids, it's not doing anything. No! Stop. And therefore elves a bit elevated above the common rabble, as is only just for their station. I mean, obviously, yeah. Oh. Oh yeah, and also what arrived at the same time was a noise marine with a guitar. I've not put him together at all because he's a plastic model, and I'm thinking if I get one of those Lord Discordant on Hellstalker, I'm going to replace the person who's meant to be on the Hellstalker with the noise marine, and then I'll try putting like speakers on it or something, and I think that would just be really cool. Oh, I do love these things though. Also, I got some new Sharpies. I do know doing some colours, because I've heard like using metallic Sharpies for colours is like for raised parts of a model is really nice and easy.
Time to eat a cupcake.
Don't eat the cupcake's native engine. I don't even need to look to know it's native engine. Actually, my goodness, it is really easy to do this. I mean, okay, these are really raised when it comes to the metal. Look at that. I did the cool little pattern on it really easily. Actually, what I was really testing it on was using these fine point black Sharpies to try and get... Hi, Rabayama, how you doing? To try and get that black done off the shoulder pad there. I did end up going outside the lines, as it were, though. I can definitely see if you don't have a skull on your blooming shoulder pad and getting these things done there for trim. I could definitely see using a Sharpie for them, although it still leaves a big issue for me, which is the lip of the blooming shoulder pad trim. Is still super hard to do. So maybe I could do it. Yeah, actually that does work. I did it badly there, but there it worked. Just had to be very careful with it. That day will be tomorrow. But yeah, cupcakes are friends and not food. Don't eat them.
One day, you're gonna get caught out by one of us just baiting you with that sentence. The day will be tomorrow, trust.
I'm too skilled. Too skilled. I always know. Look, native engine always says it with a certain inflection. I could tell who's who's typing based on your inflection. I mean, you might not think that Cuptle speaks for special inflection for each of you, but obviously Cuptle does. Cuptle's smart like that. Yo, you just got off a 4-star Kim band. Nice! Oh, so hello, that guy over there. Oh yeah, other stuff arrived. Combat Patrol magazine with... What's his name? Wait, did this even have a base in it? It does. Bossin. I'm gonna have to get some commandos now just to convert Bossin up. I wish I knew though that I was getting this set, that model, before I tried buying 2 different 3D printed models. For a war boss that goes in a squad. Commando squad. But also, look what else we got. Gene Stealer cult stuff. And 2 new paints. Caliban green and Wild Rider red. With... And look what's coming as well. So next time I'm going to get some hybrids and some neophytes. But inside here is, look, more terrain and a magus. Let's go. What's up, gamers? I'm that. Is that a sneaky boss knob? Yeah, it's Bossin. He is like a epic hero commando for the orcs. 5 half guard. Oh. And finally, we got this dude. For big ol' Wasdacker. Boomdacker Snas Wagon, that's it. Look at the grot on his shoulder. And also, premium kit 3, which comes with killer cans and those big guys, the Thunderkin, that's what they're called. This is a great haul. It is. It is. Oh gosh. But
Gene
that's going to
stealers
be
are in your house now. Keep one eye on your Levi's at all times, otherwise you're gonna be short a pair.
I only have, what's it called, jeggings. Do you know legging jeans? Those are the only jeans I own. So don't worry about it. But, oh my gosh, Joy Toy. Look what's coming. Look what's coming. Oh my goodness. This is made to order terrain. Oh my gosh, is that a spider head? Spider crane servo skull. And there's another one. Oh, a drill. Oh wait, is that just... No, it's not. Never mind. Or maybe. No. Oh gosh. Yeah, but when are these going to be available? It's made to order from Christmas Day. Is it Christmas Day? Yeah, 25th of December until 12th of January. You can order these models. And look! Oh, super cool stuff. Super cool terrainy pieces. And look, cranes! Cranes! I like the idea that this one picks that one up and this one picks that one up. No idea how big these cranes are, but based on those controls, I'm guessing like a guardsman will be this big. So that crane's pretty big. If I had more money, I would have it. Not like those stealing our actual genes the Tyranids could do without indigestion. Can't wait for those gorgeous Steam stealers to break into my house. That would be good. I think they do sell stuff like this for Necromunda as well, or it used to be available for Necromunda. I like this set as well. There's loads of cool stuff. I like them. Also, there's a new Harlequin detachment. There's a lot of stuff we've missed. And there's also Blood Angel detachment for the, you know, these guys, Death Company. This guy came out on Saturday. Such a cool dude. Imagine Tyranids getting lactose intolerant from stealing genes. No! And also, I've not even looked at the new... Oh no, I did. It's like, mostly wants you to be like using jump packs. I need to like rework some of my list to see if I can fit that into them. Because I do have Night Lords, but look at the squigs. Look at the squiggly beast clothes. Death World. Surprisingly, I'm surprised that next week's releases are so few. Like, I mean, we're getting close to Christmas now. Also, look at this Joy Toy, Supreme over Joy Toy range. Look, it's Abaddon. Abaddon. You big old smelly boy. I mean, this would get life intolerance if they stole Cupcon's genes. Yeah, probably. Imagine if they get depression from our genes. Look, I'll never be depressed. I'm just extremely tired and low motivation. What do you mean that's depression? Yeah, for those who don't know, depression hits you in multiple different ways. Not everybody gets, you know, the super sads. A lot of people get depression and it's just like really low motivation and struggling to care for things. It's like, yeah, that might be depression. Pressy. You know what, let me compare this colour here to both of these. That's nice. I'm thinking actually, yeah, let's go and try the darker colour first. And then we can go over the brighter colour, then watered down Agrex Earth shade. And then iodine yellow, I think that could work. Joy Toys always
Leviathan
like...
shows up, bodies the Blood Angels, picks up a mild case of the Black Rage. Horus.
Could you imagine if after Bao they do another story where they like there's a Tyranid splinter fleet, so like, do you know, the largest one from the destruction at Baal, that's just obsessed with killing chaos. And it attacks other Tyranid high fleets as well, and it's like Black Rage high fleet. That would be, oh, that would be great. A high fleet that has the curse of Black Rage and the Red Thirst. Sometimes the Tyranids just fall on top of one another, just trying to tear one another apart, you know, in the red thirsting things. Oh, that would just be so cool. And it's like trying to hunt down Abaddon. A high fleet Kronos at home. Yeah, but it's not like one that specifically just evolved to fight demons. It's one that specifically evolved to hate chaos, specifically. And it's trying to hunt Abaddon. And like Abaddon keeps getting like psychic messages through the warp, just shouting horrors at him. Oh, he just like keeps feeling this eye upon him. And this hunger. Filled with hate. You know one of the things about High Fleet Kronos and how it's evolved to fight demons? That suggests outside of the Milky Way, there's no demons. Like in real space. Because otherwise the Tyranids would have already evolved to fight demons. And equally, the fact that the Tyranids have evolved to fight Psychers on such a large level also suggests that they never really had to fight much Psychers before. They always did have Psychers of some kind. That being said, the Psychers that they used to have, like there used to be a big thing saying how they're different from Warp Psychers. Like, do you know, Zoanthropes and Hive Tyrants, they're not actually the same thing as, do you know, your typical Psyker. Now it doesn't seem like they are different at all. I like to imagine that's because they evolved to be Psychers. Yeah, this is a much better, I think, basing colour than this. Nastrag yellow. It's very similar to one another, but it's brighter and more yellow than brown. Iron Jaws yellow is definitely really good though to go over. Yeah, I suggest that if you're wanting to do yellow using contrast paints, Iodine yellow and Iron Jaws yellow are two really good colours. And then if you want to make it even brighter, put the Bad Moon yellow over Iron Jaws yellow. Yeah. They'd never really run across Psychers until getting here, and then they Craft Road Malantai. But it's nice to know the Stain of Chaos isn't everywhere. Yeah, but that's also one of the things that makes trying to travel outside of the galaxy really difficult, because there's basically no warp. The warp calms down to such an extent that you can't really breach it outside of our galaxy. So the only ones who can really travel beyond our galaxy are... Oh my gosh. Idea. What if in the Dark Age of technology, because the warp was a lot calmer during the Dark Age of technology, what if they invented other forms of faster than light travel? And they did travel beyond our galaxy. And like they took, you know, the advanced super genetic altering that we know the Dark Age of technology had to like grow plants and stuff. And they accidentally created the Tyranid threat. Like, what happens if we've never ate other galaxies before? And the super advanced civilization that the Tyranids kind of refer to when you see their point of view is just the Dark Age of technology ships that they overtook. And devoured everyone upon. I think that would be cool. It'd be really funny if the Dark Age of technology civilization was just outside the galaxy and the Milky Way is in a bubble that they are looking at. Oh, that would be silly. That's the law for bugs in Helldivers too. I don't know if they made the bugs in Helldivers 2, but I think that they farmed the bugs for oil a bit like you know, if they did in oh, what's it called? I keep wanting to call it Command and Conquer. It's not Command and Conquer. It's just a silly though. There's a book and it's got like 2 films. Starfleet. No, Starship Troopers. There we go. Starship Troopers. Necrons and Neds seem to be the only intergalactic capable species in the setting. I don't know how craft roads are powered, but their ships are solar radiation powered. Yeah, the Eldar mostly travel using the webway. Now, it's possible that the webway itself could go beyond our galaxy. Actually, the Imperium does do some extragalactic travel, but mostly it's relatively short-range stuff. And we do know that for faster than light ships that didn't rely on warp from the Dark Age of technology, but how fast that these really could go and for how long, we don't really know. Because, you know, limited information. But the only ones right now who can reliably do that are Tyranids and Necrons. We know that the Tyranids must have some form of faster than light travel. And again, there was kind of an idea that they did, but now it seems that if they do faster than light travel, they just use the same method that everyone else in the galaxy does and travel through the warp. But it used to be, or at least there was an emphasis on this idea that they travelled differently. Yeah, this is a different. It is a very similar colour to Nastrag yellow, but it's not quite as dark. Doesn't quite as look like you dipped some fried chicken in some sweet and sour sauce or something. Some soy sauce. They farm for bugs and Helldivers, yes, and now we know that hive roads in that setting produce hyperdense version of a fuel. So you're farming a conquered hive road now. Yeah. Tyranids. I think originally they wanted to like add more diversity into the setting of, you know, lots of different like each race has its own thing going on. Like in terms of you had the Eldar who used faster than light travel, who used webways. You had the Imperium and Chaos who travelled through the warp, although Chaos could do it freely. You had the Necrons of their own strange faster than light travel. You have the Tau who did this kind of surfing, weird thing. And then you had and they had like jump drives kind of. And then what else do you have? You had the Tyranids that were doing something. I'm not sure what they're doing because I can't really remember, but I remember it not being quite travelling through the warp, or the Tyranids avoid travelling through the warp most of the time. E710 goes rotate at 180 degrees and it's oil. And E711 respectively. Oh. You swear Necrons just have the Star Trek beam me up thing. They do have proper teleportation, but they also have like effectively what I think the Necrons have is again for Star Trek warp travel. Warp speed. So you're not traveling in the warp, instead you're warping space around you. But you're maintaining, you're effectively staying in real space. Which is actually a theoretical way that you could travel through space. Star Trek also makes use of wormholes, which Warhammer does as well. I think originally the Tyranids didn't have any sort of faster than light travel. But this changed due to the fact that effectively the writers realised, of the law people, it's like, wait a minute, space is big. If you're travelling at the speed of light, you're never going to reach anywhere. But Necron's ships have inertialess drives and their ships, basically the ships doesn't move, it shunts reality past it. They keep retconning whether they have FDL. The Tyranids definitely have faster than light travel. Whether the Imperium can recognise exactly what it is or not is another question. Oh, for Tau. The Tau do have faster than light travel. Early on they didn't, but that was more of a purposeful. Early on they couldn't travel faster than light properly. Then they introduced this weird, reliable but very slow faster than light travel for them. And now they've given... Is it now that they've got like this kind of semi-warp travel? Or not? We keep retconning what type of faster than light travel they have, or keep changing it, less than retconning. They have two now, for old skip drive and the etheric engine on the newer ships. The etheric engine is just basically just a warp drive like the Imperial version, but goes shallow. So I'm assuming that means it's much slower, but less dangerous. keep accidentally painting over the purple, and this paint's just strong enough to actually cover it up. But it's fine, doesn't matter too much. The old script drive squeezed the ship against the warp's fails. They skipped along it like a stone. Oh. And technically the warp drives can be slower since they can accidentally jump to a century. Warp drives are unreliable. But the vast majority of the time, they're very... 99% of the time, they generally behave within like a 5 to 10% discrepancy. Sometimes you can be much slower, but sometimes you can be much quicker. Like, I think there's been ships that arrived at like a target before, and this is more old lore, but like they received a signal saying that the place is in danger, and they arrived like a month before the danger actually arrived there. Like, so for them, it would have been like they effectively travelled into the past by like 2 years or something stupid. For them, a few weeks passed as they travelled in the warp, but or a few days or whatever. But yeah, remember Night Lords on 30k that got lost in 40k? Yeah, that happens quite a lot. In fact, you sometimes even see Dark Age of Technology stuff appearing for 40k world. And you sometimes see 40k stuff like appear in the past. Like I swear there's like this one story which sees a dude arrive in you know, the Age of Strife. And like there's this massive war that I think it wasn't for Horus Heresy, like arrived thousands of years in the past. In a war that made the Horus Heresy seem pathetic by comparison. Skip drive was the slowest, but it was safe and consistent. Etheric engines are faster, but if you jump into a turbulent warp current, you can get lost or worse. Yeah, and Tau still don't have really good Geller fields and stuff. They don't need them as badly as long as you got none of the auxiliaries on board of a ship. But still, they do need them. I think like the biggest danger to Tau is generally like when they get caught in warp storms. They do have weapons that are very good at dealing with demons and stuff. And by I say very good, basically they just powered up enough to where they can tear through demons and so on. Through sheer force of killiness. But that's just the same as any other race, really. Lacking blanks and psychus is sometimes a bit bad for the Tau. Since the Tau have little of understanding of a warp, they can accidentally jump into warp storms and then get their ship smashed against rocks as if it were. Yeah. Tau don't need Geller fields because they are practically invisible in the warp. They're not actually invisible in the warp, they just have a very low presence compared to humans. Well, that's not to say they're invisible. They're not blanks. Blanks are not only invisible in the warp, but by being basically invisible, you effectively nullify and steal the warp around yourself. And as a result, demons have a hard time existing in your presence. But if you jump into the warp, it doesn't matter what you are, with the exception of blanks and powerful psychers. Powerful psychers can fend off the demons and calm the warp around themselves. Blanks can also comment around themselves. Hi, even IT still invading Imperium collector lately. No, we're not invading Imperial tax. In fact, we just collected more prisoners of the Imperium. We also have little in the warp navigation ability, so this is why they stay shallow and they still FDL in burst. Easy to see where you're going if you don't go too deep, if slow. Yeah. Hi, Sparky. So, Tau... Yeah, so what happens if you go into the warp, especially the deeper parts of the warp, you're going to be surrounded by demons. Your ship is not going to be invisible. Your ship has very little warp presence. But while you're inside the warp, you have a big warp presence. Like, so your ship's going to be seen by every single demon. They're going to notice that there's life on board of a ship, and without the Geller field to stop them invading it. The main things the Tau have is like the Tau on a single world is very likely to suffer a demon incursion unless a warp storm appears. It's not necessarily not going to happen, but like a world that's only populated by Tau, they have such a little warp presence that demons will mostly just ignore them and won't even notice them on the planet. So it's unlikely to be attacked. Human planets, on the other hand, the demonic incursions on them are moderately common. My internet died. Orcs don't need a Geller field, because they wouldn't deny demons a good fight. And some demons just leave them alone. Also, orcs, all orcs have a much higher psychic. So in the warp, being a psyker can actually be better than not being a psyker. If you don't have a Geller field. Because if you're not a psyker, you don't really have much to fight against the demons to push them away. All orcs are more psychic than humans are, and Eldar are more psychic than humans are. But that means that they're also like, when a bunch of orcs are together, like you've got tens of thousands of orcs on a single ship, their psychic presence from all that many orcs is so heavy that, one, they can steal the warp around them just by sheer force of will. And two, they can effectively basically protect themselves. That being said, orcs do have Geller fields. Orcs have mentioned Geller fields and similar things in the past. And I remember reading actually it might have been on stream, it might have been in Combat Patrol, where orc field failed on a ship and the demons invaded the ship only to find out that the orcs had taken down their own field just because they wanted to fight the demons. That being said, they could have been corrupted by chaos and they did that. Because I was reading, it was Archmagos, where the person where the character was on a ship in the warp, and there was like voice in her head that sounded like her own thoughts, but it wasn't, telling her to open those shutters and look into the warp and to shut down the field and stuff. Just this voice constant, and everyone on the ship basically had this voice in the back of their head that sounded like their own voice telling them to look into the warp. So yeah, also orcs are protected by a blessing of Mork and possibly Gork. Yeah, and sometimes humans themselves have had Geller fields fail in the warp without any side effect. I think it was Last Chances where the Geller field failed when they were going through the warp, and demons invaded the ship. But the only part of the ship that got really badly hit was the lower decks of the prisoners were kept. And by prisoners, basically penal legions, so soldiers who were originally prisoners, who were forcibly recruited into Astra Militarum. And they just fought against the demons. Some of them did go insane and got possessed, but most of them successfully fought off the demons. And those are just humans doing that. The upper parts of the ship were basically safe though. But that's because that's where like most of the psychers and stuff were, and they basically just... A bunch of the psychers died, but they did manage to basically protect most of the ship. And then when the Geller field came back online, like the Imperial naval officers ran in and basically killed off the last of the demons to save the prisoners. But yeah, that's actually a really important plot point of the story though, so... Rock, you mean Hulk in training? All I can imagine is a rock flying through the warp, having a gay old time. Yeah, sometimes... But yeah, even orcs do have Geller fields. And I think the Tau do have a Geller field of some kind, it's just not super effective. And they're not even always able to tell when it's raised or lowered. Because one of the things is, humans can feel the Geller field. They can feel the gap between them and the warp created by that Geller field. And like, they know it's up. If it were to fail, every single human on board of a ship would notice immediately that the Geller field has dropped, even if without a demonic incursion. Tau, on the other hand, wouldn't. So let's say a demon managed to manipulate your system so that it could drop your Geller field, but made it, or effectively told your system that it was still up. So your ship still thinks the Geller field up, but it isn't. The Tau wouldn't notice as quickly as like humans on board the ships. Humans would immediately notice something was wrong. So that's another reason why the Tau shouldn't be travelling too deep into it. I do like the idea though, I do like that the Tau are effectively confined. Outside of basically special jumps, getting shunted by the warp massive distances and travelling through wormholes, the Tau don't really have, well, none of them are reliable. They don't have a reliable way to travel far beyond their starting systems. I do like that, it's unique to them. I do like this idea that the Tau are underdogs and they're constantly trying to evolve and improve their tech, but they're just so many thousands of years behind everybody else. I'm not a banana! Thousands of dissidents. Imperial of Cupcon to save a ship is alright after a Geller field fail. Don't mind if thousands of humans died. Yeah, the thousands of prisoners died. Don't worry about it, the convict. But the thing is, it's like the Geller field failed, but they were able to, because of the psychers and stuff, the important people on the ship were all protected. And by important people, I just mean non-convict. So the Imperium doesn't really care about them. So effectively, the convicts had no protection beyond the Geller field. But that's one of the things that makes humans relatively good, is that humans, orcs, Eldar, they all have protection if the Geller
Tyranids go
failed.
eat the biomass banana.
No, don't eat the biomass, but no, I'm not a banana, I'm a cupcake. I'm a vanilla cup, no. Yeet. Okay, let's look at this Iron George yellow though. One thing I don't like about these ones is that for some reason I can't clip these back. It will always just close itself. Let's see how this looks with some Iron George yellow on it then. Like, normally I can have it like, so it just stays like that. Oh, there we go. Let's see how this looks then. The question is, it doesn't really seem to change the colour much. Like a very faint.
This is why how have the sphere expansions, which are just crusades with better PR. They had to concentrate their resources each time.
Yeah. Expansion sphere. Well, if they're not just crusades, the expansion spheres, because if you look at how the spheres are currently, each one effectively has their own governance. So it's like, imagine a crusade, but they actually took like proper colonists and governors and, you know, actually put a lot of thoughts in the logistics of once they take the planets, you know, keeping them. Which crusades kind of suck at. Oh, I had an idea for my Black Templar, by the way. Like, if they're having to be their own little chapter. What if they're on the wrong side of the rift? My crusade. And that's one of the reasons why they've had to, you know, expand and like become their own chapter. And change their modus operatum or whatever. I forgot how were you meant to pronounce that. Modus operandi. System of operations. Is the P yellow? No, it's not P yellow. Hi, long stocks. By the way, who has the coolest melt in the setting in your opinion? I don't know. Probably the Eldar. Right, if you're going by like the strongest, the fusion guns of the Eldar are ridiculous. Like with the fire dragons. I absolutely love them. Not a big fan of the Necron fusion-y melters. To the north side of Citrix and west of the Eye. I'm thinking so. Thinking something like that. And like maybe after the entire thing occurred, the Marshal of the Crusade died, and Alderic rose to effectively lead the Crusade. And recognizing that they were cut off from the Imperium, they had to like... Normally, Black Templars don't care too much about rebuilding worlds, but they had no choice but to try and help worlds rebuild and to, you know, have a more open mind to mutants and stuff. And to create their own guardsman force. My chat keeps breaking on my phone. Oh no, I think that would be cool. How's this looking now? Not looking too yellow. But I do want it looking more yellow. Very difficult doing this. Every time I look at it on the camera, it just doesn't seem like this yellow's doing anything. If we compare this to the Nastrike though, you should see a very clear colour difference. If we compare it to this, not quite the same colours yet. What I'm thinking, let's just look what this yellow looks like when painted by itself over the undercoat. Maybe we don't need the other dark yellows. Maybe this will just be fine. Definitely need more coats of it once it's dried. Difficult because that wasn't painted with contrast, it was painted with normal yellows, but I want to do contrast just because contrast is so much quicker to paint and so much easier. I just want to, I really like how the yellow turned out there, so... Really trying to mimic it. Or does this just look better than that? The issue is, without any shades and without any highlights, it doesn't look that good. Egg yolk contrast paint, basically. Do I have my, I don't think I do. Come here, some tissue. Boom, but down. Let's try. I don't want much paint on it. Oh, actually, that looks really good now. Oh, that looks very bright though on the screen. A lot brighter than what this does. I even use it. I definitely used iodine yellow. Maybe with some aggressive shade it would look good. Not looking the worst. Let's compare it to this. She wants to eat them. I don't want to eat them. Why is Cupcake painted with Tyranids like tangerines? I'm not painting them like tangerines, so if this is a colour scheme I'm going for. It's, if you don't know, my model used to be yellow and pink. And I was trying to go for that originally. And instead went for yellow and purple. So this is just the colour scheme I went for. I think it looks very cool. I like it. Where's aggressive shade? Do I have any of it out? Nope, not that's Nastreg. Okay, let's get an Agrex of Shade from Inside Fish thing. Grunt to contrast, Agrex of Shade, there we go. Your model was yellow, impossible. Impossible! Hello, Nico! Oh, that's Nico who drew the cool art. You're for 5,000. A wallpaper. She does not want to paint them purple and green so we don't notice she is a I'm not a Tyranid, no! I'll never nom you all. Nom 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 nom. Okay, let's see what Agrex of Shade on this looks like. Oh gosh, it just puts it back to exactly what it was like before. The Agrex of Shade. Not looking too bad. Give me leopard print lictor, my life is yours. We'll try doing that with our actual lictor model. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, that was way too much. Oops. Also, Nico's the one who designed and drew this model. Not this model. That model. The VTuber model. Yeah! No. Here we go. Nico, your peak. Nico is peak. Ah, yawning. My gosh, painting yellow is hard. Going way too heavy on that. You're a human, not a mountain. Are you sure? I mean, that game called Peak did look a lot like you. The thing that they had to climb. I'm a bit unsure about this right now. Hello, Crafter Knight. You got your berserkers ready to paint? Nice! I sure am Cupcat. I'm not a cat! You mountain. Oh yeah, guys, I forgot. Blue stuff. You seen the blue stuff? It's modes. It looks messy, but it's mostly there's a Templar symbol, Mechanica symbol, eagle. Different type of eagle. Templar cross with weird purity seal thing and a big old sword. Yeah. I kind of suck at getting these modes made though. And corn. You got corn for betrayer. Oh my goodness. Oh, wait, yawning. Yawning. Oh. Oh, stretching. Any bloodthirsters? Yeah, bloodthirsters. Oh, what about Demon Prince of Corn? Oh, I'm gonna have a Demon Prince of Corn at some point. That's not looking too bad. It's definitely looking fried chicken though, isn't it? How did I get this yellow looking relatively good? I don't have any other shades of yellow. No, we'll test it out on this guy. If a bloodthirster was the first model you made, oh my gosh, stop calling them pea yellow nids. They're not pea yellow. If your pea looks like this, I think you need to drink more. You need to hydrate. Have more cola in your system. Looking okay, I guess. Oh, corn was the first model you made. Oh. Oh, corn was the first model you made. Oh, okay. Yeah, corn's cool. He's got the Miku hair.
I don't understand why these Tyranids are colored like pea. Is there a certain fetish I don't know about?
Can you stop that, long stocks? I told you they were based on my old model that was yellow and pink, not green and purple. And they're not pea coloured. The yellow. Yellow's a nice colour. There we go. Lemonade. Why do you call soda lemonade? Lemonade is a soda. Oh, wait a minute. Lemonade in America isn't a soda, is it? It's a soft... It's... What's it called? It's just lemon fruit juice. In Britain, if something's called like a lemonade or, you know, has some aid after it, it generally means it's a soda of some kind. It's a fizzy drink. Let's meet to the middle and say orange is best. No, orange the worst. Orange the worst. Oh my goodness. It's like, mate, what do you want to be? Yellow or red? Make your mind up. She says, having painted orange the other day. Honestly, that's not looking too bad now. With the yellow. I think I should water to fair Grex of shade down. Aren't you purple and green, Cupcake? Yeah, I am purple and green, but my model used to be yellow and pink, and that's what I was trying to go for when I first started painting my Tyranids. Yellow and pink. I was limited in my colour range a lot more back then as well, so although I still don't have any good pink colours. Sadly. Hello, Mercury. Orange the worst. I cannot believe my own VTuber daughter is roasting me like that. Cupcake is purple and green. I'm not purple and green because I'm a Nurgle cultist. I'm just purple and green because I'm purple and green. It just happens. Sometimes you're just born purple and green. And you know, it happens. Oh, see, what my favourite like colour combo is pastel yellow and pastel pink. When I was playing Lego City Undercover, which is basically like Lego GTA, I like painted all of my vehicles yellow and pink. Oh yeah, Mercury, you've been listening to You, Me Equals Love, Native New Yorker and Groove Line, and We Are Family. We are family. Is it that one? The old model was a Tyranid. The old model wasn't a Tyranid. The old model was a magic woman. A conjurer of hopes and dreams. Look, I can show you. I can show you. Give me a moment. If I flick over here. Which one was it? Was it this one? It might have been the other one. No, it's this one. Yee. Here we go. It wasn't a very nice yellow. It was a very dirty yellow. But hi! This was like the model I made personally and rigged. Yeah. You can see there's not as much movement in this. And like the back of the hair is just all one big old piece. Like, look at it flick from side to side. Yeah. Yeah. Since Cupcake has a lot of books and knowledge about 40k, therefore she says, no, I'm not a Saint Jeeva. Disco's been a perfect final to any party, especially 70s. Oh, yeah, this is what I was like. And look, and I had ribbons on my booties, and I had little, I got even a little strawberry. Look, I got a little strawberry on my collar. Yeah. Also, this model is like so much lower resolution than the other one. But yeah, this was me originally. Hello, Tony. How you doing? We need a word bearer for Word Bearer's Army called the Bearers of Blood. Just came back from listening to Carry On My Wayward Son. An immigrant song. Yeah, I love the immigrant song. It was in the... Is this correct? Yeah. Hi. It was in the Thor film. Oh, what was the film called? It's my favourite Marvel film. It had Hela in it. Hela! The best Marvel villain so far. Oh, I forgot. It's like Far Free. Name is... Ragnarok. There we go. Thor Ragnarok. I love that film. Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin is also a good song, but it got overexposed. Oh. And I got overexposed to the immigrant song because I just put it on.
The old model has so much whimsy. Where did it all go? Distilled into the Cuptle?
Yeah, distilled into the Cuptle. Don't worry. Don't wait, I already have a version 2 of that model. Actually, I've had it for a while. But then I tried like testing it out on stream while playing a game, and it lagged massively. It's because it's a 4K model. It's got 4K textures on the model, and there's like so much going on with the model, so many sheets that it completely just... It's fine when I've just got it by itself, but when I've got like other games and stuff going on, programs, it lags out. Especially when it comes to trying to switch the model out and, you know, trying to get its toggles done. So I have my rigger working to fix that, but that's going to take a while. I've got some other cool stuff going on with it, so don't worry about it. Version 2, this was already ever meant to be version 1.5. But I kept getting delayed. It was me kept delaying stuff, partly because I'm so ill all the time. And then the more it got delayed, the more I felt like I have to do for the V2 debut. And the more it just delays the debut. Blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne. Why do we have so much chaosy people?
Blood for the blood gods, skulls for the skull throne.
We've got corn people, we've got Sintian people, Nurgle lovers, Laneshi lovers. Guys, why are all so heretical? Look, Inquisitor Muffin says no heresy. Start of a stream, always messages, no heresy. And what do you guys always do? Heresy. And I'm starting to think that maybe you guys aren't devoted to the Emperor of Mankind. You know, just maybe. Ever so slightly. I'd be an amazing Inquisitor. Okay, resolution sounds too low, to be honest. Yeah, and no, the thing is when you got loads and loads of big textures, and then like loads of different model bits that go together, and then you've got like toggles that... So a lot of the model is hidden. Oh, lots of texture layers are hidden, and then other parts aren't hidden. And then you got physics applying to them all. It ends up just being ridiculous. It ends up just really hitting the computer. Like, it's fine if it's just load it by itself, but when I'm trying to load it with games, it's just too much for the computer to handle. Because there's just so many different textures. So I'm having to split it into 2 models that I can just toggle in between. Back when I first ordered for model though, I didn't have the ability to toggle between models like that. But since then, I figured out how to do it. And you see it on stream nowadays. Click of a button, we can toggle the models. So I'm not as limited as when I first got the model done. The thing is though, I've had a massive upgrade to my PC since then. It's like I got 24 gigabytes of VRAM. It just uses it all. But I mean, it's not just having a game open, it's having the game for OBS software, Twitch integrated throwing system, and all of these other things just together. I meant the Chibi is already bigger than 4K, so normal model should be high. No, the normal model is a higher resolution. Oh gosh. I didn't mean like the entire model is 4K, I meant like certain parts of the textures are 4K by themselves. So either way, it's just very high demanding model, very large. Denizen of Misery, hello! What are we doing with all that resolution lagging out my PC? The mind is willing, but the body is not. Muffin, I must rest. Yeah, same here. You're gonna go and listen to stuff. Bye bye, Mercury. Enjoy your music. All that resolution so you can zoom in for fan service. Yeah, that's what you need it for, really. Just to be able to zoom in. And it's not just being able to zoom in, it's being able to the fact that most of the time, like, you're only looking at the top half of the model. So the bottle's not closing properly, I just need to get rid of this dried up paint back here. Unfortunately, the yellow paints always dry up in a chalky way, so I can't just break it off at one point and just lift the rest out. My mother was just shouting stuff up, but I have no idea what she was shouting about. And then she left the house. Probably trying to tell me something. There you go. I'm sad that I can't paint my chaos, lads. I don't have brushes. Oh no! You're going insane. Why are you going insane? Just wipe off all this yellow paint on the file. Yeah, I use a file to just clean up my pots so I can still use them. Oh gosh, my leggy legs. I return, what did you miss? We're painting yellow on this guy. We're trying to make him look more like the Neurolictor.
Can you eat chili, Conjuror?
Crucifying. We're not crucifying the turtle. Can you eat chili? If I make the chili myself, yes. And if it, because I have to like make sure all the ingredients are correct. Oh gosh.
red leaper, yellow leaper, red leaper, yellow leaper.
Oh gosh, on Saturday, I ordered some food, right? Because I was just so tired and ill. But I wanted just to like order something in. So I ordered something in from like, instead of Burger King, a local shop. And they have options for like what you want on your burger. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have... I don't want the sauce. I don't want any of these things. I will have the lettuce. I will have the cheese. And then it arrived and it had no lettuce, but it had all the sauce. And I couldn't eat them. And I complained to Uber Eats. And they're like... Well, I had to get through the AI first, which was hellish. And then they finally messaged me back saying, hey, we can't refund you first. It's like, what do you mean you can't refund it me? I told you specifically I cannot eat the burger that I bought. Oh, and I was so sad. So I removed my tip. I couldn't even complain about it because it's just like immediately closes it. And then it's like trying to talk to them. It's just stupid. So I've decided to delete the Uber app on my phone and just use Just Eat or something instead. No burger wars have been started for less. Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm so tired. Also, I did try connecting to a doctor or like speaking to my doctors yesterday. Spent an hour on the phone only for them to tell me to go to A&E. And I'm like, I absolutely hate the local A&E place. It takes hours. You always end up catching something. And they always just like pat you on the head and just send you away. Or tell you to go and see your own doctor. So I didn't go. Also, I'm too tired. I don't want to go to A&E. It takes hours. I'm tired. The chair's uncomfortable. A&E is like the worst place to go when you're feeling ill. I'm sure I'll get better. Maybe it'll be better if I have bricks of shade on this thing. Imagine all the corrupt money. I'd love to be a High Lord when I die and reincarnate as a human. I would not want to reincarnate as anybody in the Warhammer universe. It all sounds terrible. Our loyalist I hear. Oh, there's no loyalists here. Only Cupcake. Maybe we just put the agrex of shade in some of the darker areas. I just avoid putting it over the rest of the model. It'll look okay. Maybe that's what I did before. I think that is actually what I did do with Relicta. I avoided putting it over areas. A lot of the areas. Okay, actually that's not looking the worst. Yeah, still not a big fan of it. Maybe some more iron yellow could help it look good. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for, but still struggling with it. Being a nighttop precipitate sounds pretty good. I mean, as long as you got the willpower to control the night and stuff. And if I had to choose, I would want to basically be... I mean, being an Eldar wouldn't be the worst thing, or Dark Eldar. Being a Photon wouldn't be the worst thing ever. You're angry one. I'm angry one. No, I'm angry one. I'm the angriest one. Where's my Major's purple? Major's purple, that's Shaiish purple, that's Sarah's purple. That's Administratum grey. Major's purple. I'm not stinking, no! No! I am Alfarius. Maybe being a powerful-ish psyker would be a good thing. Or rogue trader, on Inquisitor. Imagine a rogue trader, like a psychic rogue trader would be pretty good deal.
The time I got reincarnated as a Dracari I. Wait, I might be cooking with it. Copyright, trademarked. You better not be infringing now. Be one with Nurgle, be one with the Stinky.
Now, I was the one who came up with the idea. So Major's purple dries really shiny. I just want it on the parts where I think it will be shiniest. Under model. So in the jointy bits. Like, just look at how like varnished and shiny this model is, because the Major's purple. Really nice when it dries. Be one with a Nurgle. No, don't be one with a Nurgle. Nurgle is evil. Evil, I tell thee. That's not looking too shabby. No, the Dracari wouldn't be the worst ones, because basically if you become a Dracari, you're basically immortal. If you do get killed, you can just come back from the dead again. You do have to kind of feed them pain and stuff though, but you can get that from feeding of the tournament. And just keep your head down for a bit. Also, being reborn as a Dark Elder would be great. You get to lord over the lessest. Filthy fat grown masses. I mean, honestly, even as a fat grown Dark Elder, you can still do, you know, pretty well. Compared to, like, much of the galaxy. Like, there's definitely worse lives you could have, you know, popped in ass. There we go. Cupcon could be a cupcake Drakari if the cupcakes are alive and a house is made of cupcakes. Ah yes, but no, we're not making furniture from cupcakes. There it is. Why did I put it all the way over there? Oh gosh. Okay, how's the model looking at this point? Not got any of the blue on it yet. It's still very shiny with a Magos purple was. That's nice. Yeah, see, it dries in this very shiny, still looking wet thing. And that's exactly what I want for Magos purple. Yeah, unfortunately, the yellow is still not good. It's just, it looks so messy. That's what I wanted to avoid with this yellow. But you'd require suffering. You gotta make. Why would I use cupcakes? There's plenty of humans and stuff.
But you'd require suffering. You gotta make them cupcake shaped, then use your cupcake magic irresponsibly to form them into unnatural shapes.
No! That's not responsible use of cupcake magic, you big old meanies. No. You have to use your cupcake magic nicely on the cupcakes. No, you just take some humans. There's plenty of humans in the 40k galaxy. Or take some orcs. Or take some, you know, craft road out or Cupcon is a homunculus confirmed. No! Actually, I did love the homunculi when I played Dark Elder. My two favourite things are Cabalite Warriors and Incubi. Well, Incubi and Homunculi, those are my two favourite things. I loved the Talos Pain engine. But I loved the old Talos Pain engine. I want them to release a new Talos Pain engine in plastic. that's based on the old one, the old metal one. Oh, I loved that old metal thing. It was so, it fell apart all of the time, but I just loved the design. The new ones are okay. Not quite as cool though. Cupcake bed sheets. No! Although that gives me a merch idea. Don't forget to like the stream. Okay, Talos Paint Engine. Metal. So where is the old one? Here we go. Open image in new tab. Yeah, there we go. I'll show you guys. That's what the old Talos Paint Engine used to look like. Had two big old splinter guns up there, splinter cannons. A drill arm and stuff. It's a Space Marine head popping out of its schools are tied to it. You got this person's body, you know, as a lever mechanism. I think there's also like under those plates some fleshy part. It's like, oh, it's so cool. Compare that to the new Talos Paint Engine. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Cup cushions. Xenos. Fukari. Talos Paint Engine. Here we go. I got so much more boring. It's similar. Like, it's still got the big old tail goes up, the guns on it. It's still got the human-y shaped thing and the skulls on its back, but it's like, they're two very different designs, aren't they? Like, what? No. No. And then where are the rat? I do like the combat patrol for Drukhari at the moment. Two paint engines, squad of rats, homunculus. Oh look, that's up. I loved Incubi. I loved the old metal Incubi as well. Although I do like the new Incubi too. Never got the new ones because they're expensive. I managed to get a whole load of the old metal ones because people were getting rid of them to get the new ones. Talos Cupcake Engine and its lobotomized cupcake. Yeet. No, no, don't do that. Don't do that. No, 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 it's the cupcakes. The cupcakes are happy. Also, the Dark Elder don't lobotomize things. Because, you know, they want them to suffer. Oh, the Kronos. What does a Kronos even do? The Kronos Parasite Engine is a disturbing, bizarre creation. With a name like Kronos, you'd think it would be like time related, but that's funny, you think they're going to be lobotomized. No, they're just internal mechanisms. No, we got humans of that sort of stuff. Okay, so the purple should be dried now. And it still should look shiny though. Okay, how am I going to do the yellow? How am I going to make it look nicer? Maybe I could go over with this Iron Jaws yellow again. Because the thing about this, it just looks messy at the moment. So I need it to be more unified tone. I guess once I get some blue on it, it'll be fine. Maybe actually that's the thing. I should dry brush some Uriel yellow over. Actually, what would happen? Here. I'm just going to test on one of these limbs. I get this yellow. And just brush it gently over like that. look terrible. Oh no, that went onto the purple. Stop going on for purple. There we go. We'll just do that.
You're thinking too small scale. You could completely monopolize the suffering overnight. You would become the richest homunculi overnight.
Lady Malai's reminds us Shadowheart from BG3. Yeah, Baldur's Gate. A lot of people have been saying that. It's like, what do you mean we could monopolize stuff? No, not cupcakes. We go for like humans. We just do humans. It's fine. I could do this. But no, that would look terrible. I meant to get for your Iron Jaws yellow out. I've been sleeping on Photon. They have Tordor's leg extensions called Iron Jacks. No, they're not. They are robots. But Iron Jacks are all robots. AI. Artificially intelligent robot people. They're not Tor dwarves, technically. And I guess you could always convert them, like replace the head with a normal photon head. How does that look? That doesn't look the worst, actually. Yeah, maybe dry brushing some Uriel yellow. And then putting the iron, not the iodine yellow over it would look best. Now let's look. How does that look? This doesn't look terrible. Looks better than this. Yeah, it looks a lot better than this. I mean, some parts of it don't look too bad. Oh, Compare it to this. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Well, let's look. Maybe Iron Jaws Yellow can save this one. In hindsight, Iron Jacks and Castellan robots have the same heads. Yeah. Although Iron Jacks are actually sentient beings. So if you look, some of the kin have those, do you know, Horus Heresy style robot and Castellan robot heads. And it's because they literally descend from the same thing that the Men of Iron. And Steeljacks literally just means steel man. A bit like you got Lumberjack, Lumberman. How's that looking? Looks better. Okay, yeah, I should definitely just focus the iodine yellow as a highlight colour. Avoid for aggressive shade because it just makes it look too messy and dirty. Like where it is just a highlight colour, it looks a lot nicer. And if I need it looking a bit darker, I can just get some watered down iodine or even some Nastreg on it. Okay, I'll just leave that to dry a little so it's easier to tell what's going on afterwards. And how it's looking. I just don't want it looking like fried chicken. This one's had 2 tests on it. One alternative here is being off briefly on an earlier conversation. How do Photon FDL? My guess is they would use modified Imperial dive drives. Or they don't have Psychus. They do have Psychus. The guys who talk to the Photon are Psychus. But if we look at the model, Grimnears or something like that. And they like summon rocks around them. I think the Photon just travel through the warp like the Imperium does. I think they've got like safer warp drives or something though, so don't ask me though. I wouldn't really know. Psychic dwarves, impossible. Yeah, they do have proper Psychus. This isn't fantasy. Like, because we were reading about it when we were reading for combat patrols. Where are they? Here we go, Grimnears. Grimnear, also known as living ancestors, are privy to the wisdom of a Photon and closest analogue to priests among the secular leagues of Photon. Engineered with a psychically active clone skin that allows them to activate barrier tech such as ward staffs and energy-focusing cores, these kin are able to rouse the fury of the immaterium against their foes. Yeah. I don't know if the Grimnir are the same people who lead their ships, but I imagine we got some. Oh my gosh, look at him. He looks more like an elf, that dwarf, doesn't he? He's got no beard. I was wondering. Or she. That dwarf's got no beard. So weird. And it's psychic. It's got magic. What? Wait, look at these dwarves. Where's all their beards? He's got a mustache but no beard. Oh. So photon cores are partially psychic entities? I don't think the photon cores themselves are partially psychic. They're the ones that communicate with a photon. But I think the psychic stuff is just to use certain tech and to, you know, defend themselves. The Grimnir Alt-Head is cool. It is cool. I do like the thing they've got over the eye. Or it's on both of them. If you look at his head carefully, he's also got it over his eye. Huh. You like mutton chop dwarves over beards? What am I doing? There you go. So bad. So terrible. Just as long as you don't chop off their hair, you should be fine. Why is that place just nicer? What's nicer of that? Oh, that. I like how that looks, to be honest. How does that look now? Yeah, I'm thinking we go with the iodine yellow. Yeah, we go with... First put some yellow on the model. Iodine yellow over it. Then highlight again with yellow. Literal war starting shenanigans right there. Old world represent. Old world. Back when even the dwarven women were bearded. No one could tell the difference. Although that was actually one of the things that was like a constant comment of, like, where's the women? It's like, for all women, you just can't tell the difference, guardsman. Obviously, there's plenty of female guard. You just can't really. Have you ever seen a woman in like full battle armor? And then looked at a man in full battle armor? You can't really tell the difference. Especially like between a short man and a tall woman. That's like the commentary on it. Like dwarven women, obviously if you have some dwarven women are warriors. They just look like the rest of the dwarves. I do kind of like that though, like... People come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Also one of the reasons why I like to say more feminine looking faces rather than just definitely a woman's face. I've known plenty of men who look feminine. They got baby faces, as they call them. There we go. Oh, look at all the tentacles. Oh, so dilly like Davy Jones. Davy Jones. My favourite Tyranid head, though, has to be like the Lictor and Gene Stealer tentacly mouth heads. I don't know what it is. I just love those heads. I guess it's because they feel a bit more alien. And like they go and eat people's brains and they fall then and there in front of your eyes. Only dwarves I know is Fire Slayers, only because shitless short bears. You've also got the other dwarves that have the flying things in Age of Sigmar. As someone who collected Stormcast Eternals, 4 out of 10 models of generic units are female units and clearly distinct, like Vindicators and Vanquishers. Yeah. I generally think that when it comes to factions that have like a mix, they shouldn't try making them too distinct from one another when it comes to female and male models. Paladin overlords are steampunk leagues of photon, basically. They always remind me of a Stardust dome, though.
Caradon overlords are the dwarfs who got so fed up with the short jokes they went airborne.
Caradon dwarf models are so much bigger than fantasy dwarf models. I've got a few Caradon dwarves, just 5 of them. Actually, I can probably show you them. So I use my Caradon dwarves as engineers and thanes. Here we go. So yeah, this is a Caradon dwarf. Next to it is an old world dwarf. Shut! You're too tall, you can't be a dwarf! And look at the gun size difference. It's so silly. Actually, how big are they next to the Eldar? He's still short next to an Eldar. They're definitely not compensating for anything, these bigger dwarves. Welcome back. Say Caradon dwarf. Oh, yeah. But... like... they are cool models, though. I really do like them. Like, I got a flamethrowery dude. Got a big old cannon dude. Got this dude. It's like shotgun. Duckbill. Gun. And then rocket launcher. With a little crow on his shoulder. Oh no. His little pistol came flying off. He's also got a shield. Dwarves be dwarfing. We're still housements of a shot. The dwarves that dug even deeper that they reached hell. Yeah! That's actually my dwarven clan. There's 5,000 points of it. It's meant to represent like a Carrack. And they've got 3 clans within the Carrack. You got the leading clan, who's in charge of everything, which is called Clan Nori. And leading Clan Nori is Nori son of Clan Nori. It's about K-N-O-R-I-I. And like they're the most elite ones. But I say they're the most elite, they're the most numerous. They've got the largest army. The most elite one though is Clan Ashfallen. And Clan Ashfallen wasn't always called Ashfallen. But it was a clan where it's like in their blood, it's just to dig deep. To reach the fires below the ground and use them. So like this guy is from Clan Ashfallen because he's got one of those fire guns. Iron Drakes, yeah. And so like all of them have like fire resistance, flaming attacks, all of that stuff going on. But they're called Ashfallen because the clan was like a major clan in a bigger hold and stuff. But but as they dug deeper, the dwarves in their clan got corrupted, and a large amount of the clan, like most of the clan, ended up like joining the chaos dwarves and falling to chaos. They were like, oh no, oh no. Not sure how lore accurate that would be, but I like that sort of lore. And a lot of the remaining clan all basically swore oaths of, you know, the Slayer oath, basically saying we have to make up the failures of our clan by becoming slayers and having glorious deaths. But as a chunk of the clan, though, ended up getting like ousted from their own holds because they refused to take the Slayer oath, saying that the failures of their brethren was not a failure of their own. Like you can't punish me and expect me to take up the Slayer oath because my brother ended up, you know, a chaos dude. It's like, yeah, I'll pay you back. I'll give you the money. Or like the damages caused by this. But
they dug so deep they found the magma chamber of the crack they were in. Results were predictable and explosive.
Yeah. I mean, that also happened. But the dwarves didn't mind that as much as some of them falling to chaos. And like, do you know, awakening a magma dragon. So, but then they went to this other clan where all of these foods are from, Cannonbot, which is capitalist. It's a capitalist clan. They are all builders. No, they are in charge of much of the manufacturing, especially of weapons. And they hire a lot of the other dwarves. And part of the contract is that, like, if we hire you as a miner, and if we go to war and we need to, like, you know, fight, you're going to be on the front lines. Nice. Hi. So, how are you doing? Congrats on 5k. Thank you. Yeah, I'll just put these little guys back. We've been trying to paint Tyranids. It's not been going too well. I'm struggling with getting the correct yellow I want. There we go. Let's just wash this brush a bit. Something is dying either. I end up and I just got a message from YouTube saying that the stream health is a bit bad. But according to my OBS, my feed is really good in terms of like my internet connection, my bitrate. So if YouTube's not receiving the quality, then it's something between me and YouTube. But my internet's fine. So effectively, because I have to like bounce to a server to something else and so on, it could just be somewhere along that chain. We'll send the cursed image to Discord. You found Cupcon's evil twin. No, that is very cursed. Oh no. Reload your stream if it's really bad. I might fix it. If not, I blame you guys. It's your fault. But right now, I'm blaming YouTube. Actually, it might not even be YouTube, so it might just be a server issue. Or one of the carriers of a signal issue. Because, you know, that's how it works. go. Okay, so let's look how it will look now if I go over with iodine yellow. I mean, it would make sense that using uriel yellow and iodine yellow would work well together. Razor Fields, pray for the blessings for Amnesia. Cupcake reported into the war without death. Look, look. Demons are scared of me, I'll be fine. Very slick looking Neds. Thank you. This is the like closest one finished out of these guys. I think they're looking okay-ish now. Definitely not what I wanted. But we did some Magus purple on this. Maybe I should put a bit more on just to cover up some of that grey. But yeah, this is what I'm trying to go for. This guy wasn't painted using contrast paints. Come on, higher than yellow. Work with me. Oh, God, not well. Oh yeah, the reason I'm trying to get the same effect using contrast paints without using or without going too heavy into normal paints is just because contrast paints are easier to paint with. So when I'm looking to paint like 20 dots, I have like a colour scheme I can use for them that won't take forever. The contrast using normal layer paints would just take absolutely forever to paint it. Maybe it's too orange. I kind of like how it looked without it. Not really, to be honest. Maybe we'll have a try going over instead of the Iron Jaw. How will it look? The machine spirit is fighting back. Over tech beast. Every like on the stream is a prayer for Omnisire. Like stream, pray for Omnisire. Reload your stream if it's working.
The internet hamsters have fallen. Correct. The only solution is the absolution of the Omnisire via this builder.
Actually, yeah, I think I'm liking the mix of okay, let's just give it a few moments to dry. Just to see how it looks. Reloading didn't work for me. Oh gosh. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do because my internet says it's fine. Yeah, unfortunately, I am really broken, aren't I? I just loaded up the stream myself. Okay, what can I do? Stream settings. Unexactly check for latency. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with it. Unfortunately, it's like my internet's not dropped any frames. My kilobytes per second is at its usual amount. How is my internet? Should I do an internet speed check? Now my internet's fine. Connections are not dropping. Even the upload speed is normal. Like the bad guys at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, it could be. My encryption. Everything should be fine. What's the audio quality? Is the audio we messed up as well? Or is it just... And is it like my hand, or is it just models messed up? Okay, I'm looking at the stream myself. I'm not listening to it. Okay, yeah, but all the motions messed up. Okay, I'm just going to stop the stream for a second and restart it. Hopefully that will fix it. There we go. Did that fix it? I hope so. Bam, bam, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Seems fine for now. Yay! Maybe there's just something wrong with the connection. Okay, now all that time the contrast paint still hasn't dried. Actually, maybe it's not too bad. Yeah, let's look how the Iron Jaws yellow looks over that. Let's put it over this chest piece. See what appearance we get. Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, iron yellow with some eye. So, how's it going so far? Yellow dry brushed, followed by iodine yellow, followed by iron jaws yellow. We found a true Halloween version, Cryptid Conjuror. I'm still not breaking, am I? Oh gosh. YouTube analytics aren't going to like this stream anyway. I'll tell you that much. I thought they weren't gonna like this stream anyway. I don't like it when I take time off. Feel in your own time, not in stream time. Well, perhaps that's a good thing, because I am not feeling up to my best today. I think a known oil might be good to get some of the darker parts really dark, like the inner joint areas. Oh my gosh. I just had an idea of, you know, like, character discovers a cryptid. Shortly before, like, the best friend is trying to, like, imagine there's like a cryptid horror TV show, a bit like, you know, these TV shows, it's like ghost hunters and stuff. And they're like, oh my gosh, cryptid horrors are real. Oh. And maybe the two friends together wanted to like remake the show and bring it back. But then the friend discovers that cryptids, you know, are real. Oh my goodness. And they're trying to tell the friend who's like really leading the project that cryptids are real. You need to stop the show. And the friend's like, no, they're not. They're not real. They're not real. And then like a cryptid shows up and the guy leading the show just kills a cryptid like it's nothing. And it's like, told you it's not real. It's like, they are real. It's right there. I mean, maybe it was real. It's not real anymore. It's dead. And then the entire TV show, like our TV show, is about like relatively squeamish guy who's scared of cryptids, and the other guy who keeps seeing cryptids and like just defeats them as if it's nothing, just doesn't care, and still refuses to believe that the actual.
This sounds like an average day at the SCP Foundation.
Yeah, fine. I'm just gonna make a Passover stream later and grab some horrors. Oh goodness. I should probably add a counter to when the things stop. There we go. Average CP foundation. Oh, goodness. Maybe not SCP. Maybe something like that. That'd be fun. Okay, need to fix some of her things. Some of the purples have a bit too much yellow on them. Let's try this Luxin purple. If that's what they're meant to do, you're meant to open them, it just stays open. Oh gosh, this Luxin purple's strong. Oh my goodness. You're not just covering it up. I mean, that's where proper layer paint would come in. I just wanted to test out the Luxin purple on it. That's cool. Where's my... You know what, we'll get the Gene Stealer purple on it. There you go. Oh, the guy who doesn't believe in cryptids. Maybe they've got like a special power to be able to like, you know, defeat the cryptid immortality. Or they just don't even realise it. Bigfoot is in the SCP universe, except for a race of creatures humans waged war with and bombed back to caveman tech. And now they're mad. You know... That's not SCP universe, that's just real life. Wait a minute, is that classified? Are you guys not meant to know that's real? I mean, the funny thing is, there are actually races of humans, right? You know, not Homo sapiens, but similar, that it's believed Homo sapiens probably wiped out and killed. And some of them were giants. And it's entirely possible that, do you know, like the original Bigfoots and stuff, or like some of the original myths of things, did start out as like just a very rare dying off species. Only died off in the last 1,000 years, but we don't really have any evidence of it. Or at least not strong enough evidence. Highly possible, because it's that being said, you would most likely find archaeological evidence of them, even if they were only existing in like a small family or a small tribe. It's not guaranteed that you'll find the archaeological evidence. I remember reading about it. There's like these stories of giant birds by the Greeks, right? Like giant eagles. That lived around certain islands. And they were thought just to be a mythological thing, just someone saw an eagle, exaggerated how big it is, that kind of thing. Or just made up a story, as people do. But they then found like archaeological evidence from about 14,000 years ago. So quite a long time ago, of, you know, something that quite matches the description of a giant flying bird. Like a massive eagle that existed around the islands and stuff. During that time period, well, say during that time period. It's like, it's entirely possible that some of the birds did survive. And it's entirely possible that we wouldn't have any archaeological evidence. Because the only archaeological evidence we might have is currently at the bottom of the ocean. Or was destroyed by humans. Because it happens, like, humans found the birds, killed them, cooked them up. If only they weren't so tasty. Cupcon is an 05 member. What's an 05 member, sorry? But yeah. So it's entirely possible that, and considering Greek myths and stuff go back to about 5,000 or about 4,000 BC or something like that, it's entirely possible that, I mean, that's 6,000, that the birds did survive in small amounts in the past 8,000 years. It's not uncommon for, you know, to have like jumps of 10, 20,000 years as well between archaeological evidence, but generally the older the item is, the harder it is to find archaeological evidence of it from the time. Whereas newer, the easier it should be. So past 14,000 years, we should generally have evidence of the different animals that were alive. But it's not always going to be the case. It's entirely possible that these birds that existed, like, was it 14,000? Was it 10,000 years ago? I don't know. They just migrated to a different part of the world during most of that time. And only migrated back, so maybe it was very rare that they died in the Mediterranean. It's very possible that they died, like, in America or something, mostly. Overseer of a high security clearance, seek clearance level 5, hence 05. Oh. I'm not an overseer of anything. Okay, how's this yellow looking now? Okay, it looks very fried chickeny, doesn't it, with all that orange? It doesn't look that bad in real life. For some reason, that orange is just really shining through on the camera. But we'll go over it in our Iron Jaws colour. In hopes that it will help. Stop it looking as orange. And help unify the coloration of the model a little bit. Because that's one of the things I do sometimes.
Not an overseer of anything? You oversee the Cupcake Utopia. What are you on about? Not an overseer.
A Cuptopia? That's not overseeing. That's ruling a nice fist. That's just ruling over you guys and being really nice and kind to you all. You know? Overseeing of the yellow fist. Oh, I kind of want an Imperial Fist successor just called the Yellow Fists. And every single part of the other model is yellow except the fists, the hands, which are black. Oh, that'd just be the most stupid chapter ever. Oh, I want to do that now. The Yellow Fists. But everything but your fist is yellow. Yeah, that's the point. It's like, what? I don't understand. Well, you wouldn't, would you? You're not a Yellow Fist. But isn't Yellow Fist like a name of a Marvel hero? Am I being crazy when I say that? Or is it actually a Marvel hero called Yellow Fist? I know there's a hero called Black Lightning, and he's literally just a guy with electric powers, and he's black. Gosh. So my health is just struggling to keep up today, I apologise. Do not super well. Wish I was though. Yeah, I'm kind of liking our iodine yellow. It's a bit too strong with the orange tones in it though. Very difficult to get like a proper good yellow contrast paint, it feels like. Yeah, the issue is it still just looks a bit too toasty with that orange. I can go back over with Uriel Yellow after that dries. And I hope it looks better. Oh gosh. Slot 5,000. Is he gonna win? Is Anthony gonna win? Where's the slot machine? Is it not working? There it is. It's just a bit slow. Oh, oh, oh my gosh, he won. Don't watch me. I get performance. You won though. What is that? 2 times? 4 times? Inquisitor Muffin, are you going to tell Anthony he won? I don't think Inquisitor Muffin cares. Oh no! Oh no! Muffin stole the sprinkles. Okay. How much was that meant to be? Was that a 2 times or 4 times? I think 7 is 4 times. Which one's a jackpot? I can't remember. 2 times, okay. Add sprinkles at Carmad forever. Okay, will that work? Inquisitor Muffin died with me resetting the stream. No, darn it. Okay, I'm just gonna have to do it through stream avatars. There you have. Hi, Mississippi Gonzo.
Hi, Cupcat.
1, 2, 3. So yeah, at 60,000. and 19. There you go. Take that. How you doing? We were painting Tyranids. We're trying to get them looking all nice and yellow, but it's a difficult job. Not easy. Not easy being green. Oh god. My entire body just... Oh, I've been playing more as Aslin. Do you know the new High Elf Lord for Total War? And oh my gosh, the elves are definitely the least polished part of the DLC and update. There's a few bugs, not many bad ones, but do not confederate while you're playing as Aslin. You do not gain the territory, which is fair. That sounds like a fun mechanic. Instead, what it does, it gives you the new armies, or gives you the armies of whoever you're confederating, including all the upkeep cost of them, but none of the territory. Instead, it spawns a new faction called the Maritime Patrol faction, I think it is. And what they do is they take all of the territory, but they don't have any armies. They won't spawn with any armies in any of the cities. They'll have like no relations with anybody. They'll hate you because of a strategic threat and what's it called? Confederation penalty. If you're travelling through the territory of your ally before confederating them, suddenly you'll be trespassing on this new faction that just spawned. They should make it a vassal. They should make it a vassal of yours, and they should spawn with small armies in every single city, or like in the major cities. It's like there's absolutely no point taking that new faction, taking the Confederation, because the new faction sucks so much. And the fact of the matter is like any armies that you do gain, you're just going to have to disband immediately because you won't have the money. Unless you're making lots of money, which you generally don't make that much money as Aslin. You don't need to make that much money as them. But you're going to be like in thousands in debt. And since you need to have like 5 of the dragon ships and they cost money, you can't exactly afford to have the heroes around until the late game. Just pointless. What's their gimmick? Can't play the Seaborn army? Yeah, and Aslin's a Seaborn. He's the maritime guy. So it's like, oh, yeah, if you're playing as him, I advise you don't confederate until the late game. And when you do, make sure you got lots of money and you're ready to defend this new territory. This new faction that will spawn from it. And because it's a minor faction as well, it absolutely has no ability to defend itself. Whereas you'll be confederating major factions who do have the ability to defend themselves, at least to some extent. I do like the new mechanic for it. It's very fun. It's different. It's just needs a bit more fine-tuning before it's usable. Hoping to change it so that the new faction's at least your vassal. I've heard there's been Baby's First Sea God added and it's secretly cracked. Oh, what do you mean Baby's First Sea God? I know that there's a new unit called the Sea Guard, and it kind of sucks at the start. Like, it's okay. It's just compared to your basic Spearman and your Lothrian Sea Guard units, they kind of suck. But because it's really, really cheap and gets buffed by a lot of the different techs and a lot of the different upgrade paths, and by your Sea Lords, they can become very quick. I say very quickly, they could become quite powerful. And that's nice. But still, I do think the new Sea Guard unit kind of sucks compared to your typical guys armed with spears and bows. Because you guys with spears and bows get most of the same upgrades. And same, like, upkeep reductions. Most, not all, but at the same time they can shoot. And your, like, new wizards really boost them massively. It's some sort of sword and board unit, yeah. Yeah, so your Lothrian God of Spears don't get bogged down. I mean, it is pretty good at doing that. And because you can recruit it so easily. It's, like, when I was playing against Slaanesh, I lost all, what was it? I had 5 of them, the sword and board units, and I lost all 5 of them fighting against an army of Slaanesh. But my Sea Guard took relatively small casualties considering what we're up against. I mean, we're up against like 4 squads of Fiends, 3 Seeker squads, a whole load of Demonettes, Forsaken, Chosen. They were pretty tough enemy to fight against, especially with bows and arrows that don't have much armor piercing. Against all the Forsaken and Chosen at least. But the Sea Guard basically took the damage. Which we're meant to. We're very good at that. I mean, you could always just use typical spears. And in the early game, honestly, the spears are probably going to be better. They're more expensive. But because they have anti-large, they have charge defense. And stuff like, and charge reflection. And much higher melee defense. They're much better than your Sea Guard, at least in the early game. Once you start getting your upgrade path done, though, they can stack quite a lot of boosts and they become just much better than the Spearmen. Because they'll end up with higher melee defense, much better melee attack. The damage for anti-large bonus is just going to not really matter because they're just melee attack is just like much better than typical Spearmen. But arguably you could just say that having 5 extra squads of Lothrian bows is going to be better. Because that's like 2-3 volleys into the enemy before they hit your front line. So that's a lot more damage that you're inflicting before they even touch you, which gives you a much better chance of just killing off your enemy. It's like without having any of those Sea Guard units, I fought against what was it? A quest battle, which spawned a full stack of Dark Elves. And then another stack of Dark Elves spawned halfway through the battle. And they also had a bunch of Dark Elf assassins appear behind your back line. And the Lothrian Sea Guard, they just, with all the upgrades and stuff, they just, well, not even with all of them, with a bunch of the upgrades, I lost 18 soldiers throughout the entire battle. I barely suffered any damage at all. They're just shooting from... Because I get such a massive range boost. And then it's like, oh, look, those units of the enemy actually have ranged weapons that look pretty dangerous. Okay, I'm just going to use this power to upgrade my unit to have plus 50% range. The only real danger was they had bolt throwers at the start. But I just sent my wizard over. Who had... Oh my gosh. So there's this thing called dedications when you're playing as Aslin. And one of the things he does is that if you give a bunch of territory to some people, well, each of the major high elf characters, you can then like every, what is it? Might be 10 turns, might be 6 or something like that. You can ask them for aid. And depending on how much territory you gave to that lord, you've got different options you can choose from. And one of them, if you go techless, is you can pay him 1500 gold and he'll give you, what does he give you? Oh yeah, enchanted item that gives you 60% physical resistance in exchange for 50% weapon damage. So your weapon damage is half. That doesn't matter on a wizard. So you've just got a wizard that has like 125% missile resistance as long as those missiles aren't magic. It's like, yes. Because I think they already can get 10% physical resistance pretty easily. For other thing, he also gives you, the second item is an arcane item. So it can only be equipped by wizards. That has minus 10% cost to all spells. And it's got an ability that's got a relatively short cooldown, and just for like a minute gives you 160% recharge rate, so you can just get so much magic so quickly. Ridiculously good. Oh, so yeah, he's kind of broken, but at the same time he's also broken in the fact that never confederate. Oh gosh, so how's everything looking on him? Okay, he's looking it's looking pretty good actually. Not sure how I feel though about the orange.
This wizard has so much spell resistance it's regaining health off getting hit by spells and miscasting.
Not quite. Oh yeah, that's... Oh, what's it? Does it give you barrier? I can't remember if it gives you barrier. Or if my character just had barrier for some other reason. But yeah, the mist mages are pretty cool. The main thing that I've been using mist mages for though is the 2 spells. One of them is just their starting spell, and it's very similar to Spirit Leech, but it also slows the enemy down. And it's very cheap, you can just spam it out. Overcasting it's very good. And either cast it against a unit just to slow it down so I can either chase it down or so it doesn't hit my archers quickly enough. I can just throw it against enemy characters and it does a surprisingly decent amount of damage. Like Spirit Leech. It feels like it's more powerful than Spirit Leech, to be honest. The other spell is one that restores figure. And I think it does something else. But if you overcast it, it heals you. Well, it doesn't heal the caster, but it heals anyone you cast it upon. And those are like the 2 spells I did. Oh yeah, with the wizard, the other spell they have is they can summon Oceanids. And I used that spell just to get rid of the enemy bolt throwers. And he could just go into the enemy line, getting shot up by everybody. Doesn't care because he's got barrier and ridiculous resistances. And the other thing is the resistance, the reduction in the weapon damage doesn't even matter too much because it's still such a high weapon damage that you can just throw them into enemy infantry or monsters or something. Maybe not monsters. Monsters infantry, so like ogres and stuff. And just still do a lot of damage to them. Especially when he's on his chariots and he can just charge them for insane amounts of damage. Actually, I'm thinking that looks good enough of a skin. Maybe if I turn this light off, it will look. Now that orange is still just shining way too clear on the camera. Like, it doesn't look that orange in real life. Maybe from this angle, yeah. For some reason, it's just making the shadows look even more orange. Let me change my camera settings. Maybe it's a saturation or something that's a bit meh. Here we go. That looks a bit more like it, I guess. No, orange is still a bit too much. Never mind. It's not looking for worse. What I'm thinking I want to do is Let's look at how the blues will look on it. Where is... I want to look up how they're painted. Ooh! Can push children. Detachment puts Pilgrim on a pedestal. Ooh. On a new... Okay, that's got to be Age of Sigma, right? Actually, wait. Could that be the prow of a boat? Could be goblin stuff. But also could be vampire pirates. Oh, vampire pirate. Huh. Could be Skaven. No idea. Suddenly, land ship. Yes. But, I want to look at Xenos armies, Tyranids. Where do they be? How do they do for pink and stuff on these guys? Oh yeah. I don't think I want to do it quite like that, but maybe I could. Maybe. Yeah. There we go. I'm just going to move this back here so I can look at that when I want to. And let's find one of these brushes. Is that a 00? Yeah, we'll use a 00. Oh wait, that needs... Oh gosh, that definitely needs shaking up. I am so tired. That's how it looks with some... Let's see how it looks with some blue on it. So, what is it? Baharoff blue with some Talasar blue over it. That's the aim here. Can we use some Magus purple just to make it look tiny? Get all up into this joint with some blues. It's very hard to know how it's looking until like you've got the other parts done as well. Like compare it to. Because sometimes things would definitely not look right when it's not finished. And sometimes it's not finished because the colour you're currently doing isn't finished, but because you've not done the other colours. As we're experimenting, best to get them done. Yeah. And we'll go up through here a little bit. Oh gosh, that was way too thick. That's fine. I really want to get into this joint too. Get into the joint and into those things. I actually know what they are. Like, do you know the little open bits on the model? Like, where it's got the lines and stuff? I haven't show it properly. Feels like it's just the skin's open and showing muscle underneath. When I look at it, that's what I get the vibe of. I'm in a hypocrite competition. Am I enemies Imperium? Oh no! So I just thought randomly popped into my head. Imperium says to Tau, working with Xenos is terrible. Next moment, Imperium working with the Eldar. Oh my gosh, that'll be the funniest story. It looks like he's got toothpaste all over him now. Imagine if the Eldar tries working with both the Imperium and the Tau try working with the Imperium. Like this Imperium Lord and this like Eldar craft world. And both of them just like, ooh no, working with other Xenos, that sounds terrible. What are you on? And both of them are so insulted by this that they go to one another. And it's like, hey, don't you hate those Tau? It's like, yeah. You want to team up to beat up the Tau? It's like, yeah! Oh, that would just be the biggest hypocrite thing ever, and it would just be hilarious. Like, the Tau wanted unity, but not like this. I kind of hope the Games Workshop actually does something with that now. And the monkeys, porcos, yeah. Defender. Like, hasn't the Imperium done something like that? Like, didn't the... No, the Exodite didn't. Hi, TA. Evil twin has been exercised. It's all good. Oh no, my poor twin. Exercise is the worst thing. Oh, I feel so ill right now. I'll be fine though, don't worry. I'm just really tired. After this stream, I'll curl up. Might edit tomorrow's stream though to be like playing a video game or something. Because honestly, it's just taking a lot out of me to do this right now. There we go. Sorry if you can hear some random thing then. It was my hair moving across the microphone. Okay, we'll just go for arms done. We'll just go for arms done. And my hair just keeps dropping onto the microphone. I apologise. Right, I can hear my cat jumping about. I think she might be trapped. Okay. No, she was fine. She was just jumping about for fun. I was worried for actually being trapped in a room, because sometimes that happens. The cats go in a room, you close the door behind you, not realising the cats are stuck there. Bing bam boom, they're trapped in a room. SIMP squirrels in my pants. MP squirrels in my pants. If you don't know what SIMP squirrels in my pants is from, it's from Phineas and Ferb. When Cadence literally has squirrels in her pants. And she ends up on a dance floor thing, rap, whatever. I'm just like, I got squirrels in my pants. They're like, look at her break it down. Like MP squirrels in my pants. I feel like, oh my gosh, she actually did have squirrels in her pants. I've just been clowned on. I've just been served. To be fair to the iron yellow and this iron jaws yellow though, it's a very, very good at getting the colour down for yellow. It makes, if you wanted to paint a yellow of a certain shade, makes it very good. Now I'm trying to do skin tones. I'm trying to get like, I want it to look like skin, but I don't want it to look too messy and stuff. It was a bit difficult. So also what I'm trying to do now is actually how a lot of people do power weapons, in which you get some Baharaf blue, and then like, and you just paint for Baharaf blue like lightning and stuff with it. And then you put the Talisar blue just over the entire model. Well, not the entire model, the entire weapon. My hands are really shaky today. It's hard to keep them still. Oh. There we go. Oh, Oh gosh, that's way too much paint on it. It's fine. Oh gosh, I don't have my chat open on this screen. MP squirrels in my pants. That's MP squirrels in my pants. Oh my gosh, she's got squirrels in her pants. Did you know? If you want to keep your hands still though, you want to rest your wrist on something. Actually doing this also helps. One hand that's still on the table being supported by it, and then it supports your other hand. Not too much. There we go. And then you can just highlight with some more Bahara blue. Bahaja Blast. Baha Blast, that's it. Baha Blast blue. I mean, actually, Baha Blast does kind of look like this, doesn't it? Oh, being crazy. Oh no, I've never had Baha Blast. I don't even know if we have it in Britain. Okay, so I just wanted to get some blue done so I could look at it. Baha Blast sounds like something that they would sell at Warhammer World, to be fair. Maybe. So, oh gosh. Here we go. How does that look? Okay, it's actually not looking too bad. Once I've got the blue down, I definitely need to fix this up because I'm just going over it. I definitely want to get some, go back over with this blue again and then get some Majo's purple to make it a bit shinier. But yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad. We can just finish off the blue on it. I want to get some Calgar blue. Oh no, Outdoor blue. And I think Calgar blue as well. To do the same sort of thing I did on the tentacles here. So it goes from yellow to blue to purple. So that is, I believe, Outdoor blue in the middle, just gradienting it. Maybe a bit of Calgar blue. And then, what's it called? Not Sarah's purple. It's this one, Genestealer purple at the very end. Maybe going just into the tips into Sarah's purple. But for eyes, I'll probably do red because that's the way I've did everyone else's eyes so far. But yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad. So how does that go? It's dry brush your yellow. Go over with iodine yellow. And then once that's gone over, go over with Iron George yellow. You don't need any washes. The contrasts will do the wash for you. And then for the blue, it's just Baharoth blue, followed by Talassar blue, followed by a bit more highlighting with this. The purple is quite simple. It's basic with either Cerulous purple or Luxian purple, which is a contrast. Then you dry brush over that with Genestealer purple and dry brush over that with Administratum grey. Maybe do a bit correction of some more Genestealer purple, and then you just throw Major's Purple on top of that, mostly focusing on the joints. I think I need a bit more Major's Purple on this one. It's not quite as shiny as I'd like. How does this one look? Yeah, this one looks a lot nicer. A lot more slick. Probably need to fix it there. Yeah. I don't like this yellow. This yellow turned out being rather bad, but compared to this, yeah, this one was way nicer. And that's quite close to what I was going for over here. It's not exactly the same, because I used mostly just contrast and a bit of Nastreg and Agrexurf shade. But it's very similar. It's not quite as good though, is it? This yellow is a lot nicer. Except down there where it looks terrible. I think it's partly just because of just how messy it is. I definitely need to go over and fix stuff. Although I do think some of the highlights of this one were done with Dawn Yellow. So maybe that helps. I'll cover the base up of both of them. I'm not sure. It's not looking too shabby, but it's definitely still not looking like a well-painted model yet. There's a lot of work needs to be done. I'll try hopefully getting some of that done off stream. But sorry I was also very slow with this stream. I barely got anything done. But
you're gonna need to scribble down these paints like a grandma's pie recipe.
No. They're relatively simple colour schemes. The main thing about this one and why it was hard to do is because we did it with contrasts. Not contrast, we did it with normal layer paints mostly. I think it was just literally the yellow for the most part. Maybe Nastreg over it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need to correct that the blue on this. It's a mess. But my hands are just too shaky right now, my arms. Simple now, you'll forget it later. I would have not forgotten how to do the purple on these things. But maybe. But big love hearts to you all. I mean, technically I have scribbled it down. I've got a stream of it, but love hearts. Thanks for coming to the stream. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Remember to work hard but play harder. Take care of yourself, be kind to others and vice versa. Eat good food, sleep well, dream of cupcakes, but don't eat them because they're friends, not food. Yeah. Bye bye everybody, and sorry for being a bit low energy. Love you all. And also sorry for the stream just massively breaking. Don't forget to like the stream as well.